NFL running backs with 54 receptions last year. 500 of his 600 receiving yards came after the catch.
Mazzoli looks one way, then the other, down the sideline, and coming back to make a wonderful catch is Greg Ellingson.
And Ellingson just gave back 15 yards of it with the taunting of the opponent after the catch.
Ellingson making his first start again. He and Fantuz, the super slots, both banged up, but
after first down was gained, objectional conduct, Hamilton, number 82, taunting. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So 10 yards on that, 30-yard gain, minus 10, so a 20-yard pickup up near the 50-yard line.
But regardless of the penalty at the end, here you see some of the importance of Fantuz and Ellingson to this lineup. The Tiger Cats don't have a fast receiving core. They rely more on height than speed to get the ball deep. The big targets, let them go get it.
Shotgun again. Mazzoli, sideline for Giguère, and he steps out. So Jeremiah Mazzoli, after he sputtered out of the gate here, is really picking up some steam. An 8-yard gain. 3 straight completions on this series.
Mix things up a little bit here, bringing the fullback CO Prime into the game, going to a different personnel package. Buddy Jackson is the injured Stampeder.
Jackson, first-year Stampeder. Spent some time with some National Football League teams out of Pittsburgh. Be some cramping. It's been very hot here in Calgary the last few days. Talked about the haze and the smoke surrounding areas, forest fires that are burning in Alberta and BC and the territories, and because of the winds, smoke has filtered into the city. Jackson is now up and head to the sideline. He's been good so far, a good get for the Stampeders. We lost Chris Randall in the offseason.
Randall joining the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and free agent Darius Brooks, who had also played in that secondary, has moved on to pursue NFL aspirations.
Calgary team again with 2 linebackers not in their normal position here tonight. Deron Mayo out, Keon Raymond out, so Glenn Love and Lynn J. Shell, former BC Lions, filling in. Mazzoli out of the backfield, and too strong for Prime. Carl-Olivier Prime out of Laval, Quebec. Former 3rd-round pick of the Ticats, gives them a different look out of that backfield.
He's made the move from linebacker, where he played most of his college career, where he played last season for the Tiger Cats, to fullback. Fullback in prep school. Recruited as a fullback to Wagner. Quickly moved to linebacker and became a starter there. And after losing John Delahunt to Ottawa in the expansion draft, Tiger Cats found them in need of a fullback and shifted Prime back to that position.
John Delahunt, big game tonight for the Red Blacks. They got their first win earlier tonight against the Argonauts. It's a no yards call. Jacques Sanders pushed out. Stampeders bring their offense back on the field. There is a man who lives up to his name, bulky, but quick too. Former star linebacker Hamilton from Stanford. Now a Cat, former Stamp, makes his presence felt.
Oh, I love it. I think any player that, you look across the line and you see familiar faces, A, you can't help but start talking, but B, whether it's just, running down a sweep and you see some guy at the corner of your eye and there's going to be a collision. And it's that love-hate relationship that you have on the field, and there's going to be a lot of that going on.
It's Bulky on the line. Brandon Boudreau chasing down Matt Walter, and he wins that race. What a great security blanket Matt Walter has become for the Calgary Stampeders. Again, this was a guy in college who racked up some serious yards in his 5 seasons under Blake Nill and the Calgary Dinos.
Yeah, playing in a great program, a program that's done a tremendous job developing players for the CFL, and perhaps most notably running backs in recent years. Matt Walter allowing the Calgary Stampeders not to have to adjust their national-international ratio, plugging into that spot for John Corner.
Drew Tate takes it himself around the edge on 2nd and short after the 9-yard pickup, and so Drew Tate, who's the short yardage guy now for the Stampeders, does the job.
The Stamps will go with both fullbacks in the formation here following that short yardage play. We'll see if they get into a double tight set.
The big guys on the line. Mitchell to Rob Kotek. One of those fullbacks rumbles into Hamilton territory. Emmanuel Davis had the last lick at Rob Kotek, but a couple of misses in open field and a good play call from Dave Dickinson and the Stamps.
Rob Cote is going to start on the left side of your screen and just drag underneath, crossing routes with fellow fullback Tim St. Pierre. Taking advantage of the traffic underneath. Cote, a very good receiver in his junior football days before becoming a fullback here with the Stamps.
In his junior football in Victoria with the Rebels.
Hey, Billy.
Undrafted player. And Walter out of the backfield again. And right now, Mo Levi Mitchell, who was stretching the field earlier on, is now nickel and diming the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Well, they do a nice job of getting Matt Walter wide open in the flat simply by alignment. Nobody there to cover him for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on that free release from the backfield.
What will he have in store this time? Walter stays in. Once again, the Stamps without one of their lethal weapons in Mo Price. And the whistle blows. The 20-second play clock had expired.
Time count violation. Calgary, number 19. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Cole Mitchell was looking over at that play clock and came down to 0.
Jock Sanders checks in to the backfield in place of Matt Walter, but you mentioned that the absence of Mo Price from this receiving corps. He went down with a hand injury in week 1. Fortunately, Joe West was able to return for their second game. Jeff Fuller has taken big steps here in his second year as a Stampeder as well.
Mitchell, McDaniel, sandwich there. Courtney Stephen, his first start at field corner for the Cats.
A little bit of a shuffle in terms of the ratio for the Hamilton Tiger Cats this week. We mentioned Taylor Reed making the start at middle linebacker. He replaces the Canadian Frederick Plessius. The Canadian Stephen starts at that field corner position where James Rogers started in week 1, Michael Coe in week 2.
Plessius is in the lineup now. You see him in the middle there, number 33, the former star from Laval, Vanier Cup champion. 6-receiver set. Bo Mitchell over the middle. Once again, it's Marquay McDaniel who is stinging his ex-mate so far. Down near the 24-yard line.
Well, it's only a 3-man rush from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, so 9 guys dropping back in coverage. But because of the amount of time he's got as the offensive line easily handles that 3-man rush, eventually the receiver pops open. It's McDaniel in the middle of the field.
Again, the former Bomber, Marcellus Bowman, supplied the jolt, but after an 18-yard gain, 1st and 10, his Stamps, 9.5 to go, looking for their first points. Cote out of the backfield, released again. Davis pushing him back. I'll give him some progression here, but Emmanuel Davis, good job closing in on Rob Cote. And only a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, terrific job in the open field there by Emmanuel Davis, as Cote had lots of room to maneuver when he caught that ball.
Cote goes out. Brad Sinopoli comes in. 9th play of this drive. That the 8th play started at their own 25-yard line. And Eric Harris just gave the Stamps some more yardage here.
Offside, Hamilton, number 41. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
You can hear the great use of the cadence by Bo Levi Mitchell on that play, knowing that the Tiger Cats are trying to time some of their blitzes from depth, trying to hit it on the run as Harris did there. That hard count messed with Eric Harris's timing, and it's something again. Now slow down those blitzes. Tiger Cats will have that one in the back of their minds.
Bring in the jumbo package again. Jeff Fuller, after a tip at the line of scrimmage, it looked like, Delvin Rowe. Penalty flag in the end zone, which likely would signal perhaps an interference call back there. We'll have to see what this is.
Well, I think this may have been a late shot. The offensive lineman, Spencer Wilson, charged downfield, buried a Tiger Cat defender a little bit away from the football.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary, number 50. After the play, back 15 yards, 1st down, Calgary.
What a costly one. Spencer Wilson. It's his 2nd penalty. This one, though, 15-yarder.
Wilson will come from his right guard position. He's just getting up off the ground at about the 18-yard line. In the middle of those Tiger Cats, he's charging downfield looking to get a block. Takes a shot there. I think it was Frederick Plessius that he hit. Costly one.
Backs them up to the 26-yard line, where they go 1st and 10. Sinopoli looks like he wants to throw. Looks like he's going to take it now. Sinopoli, high stride, Brad Sinopoli looking for the end zone. It's his first CFL touchdown, and it is a beauty. Wow. Last week, the Stampeders used a little flea flicker, razzle-dazzle for a moment. It looked like Sinopoli, a former quarterback, wanted to throw.
Well, this was shades of exactly why the former quarterback from the University of Ottawa won the Heck Crichton Trophy in 2010. Great with his arm, but as you saw right there, equally good on his feet.
Well, flags flying again on the point after. Took the Stamps a while to put their first points on the board. Brad Sinopoli has a souvenir football, the native of Peterborough, Ontario. Former star at Ottawa, Heck Crichton Trophy winner as a quarterback.
Too many men. Hamilton. That penalty's declined. Convert is good.
Thanks to Brad Sinopoli, quarterback turned receiver turned sprinter. Finds the end zone. Stamps have their first lead on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Made a great choice to become a receiver. This time looked like he wanted to throw and then went.
Yeah, showing some of those old scrambling abilities from his quarterback days. Shaking tacklers in for his first touchdown. I know his dad, Sam Sinopoli, longtime coach at Crestwood High School in Peterborough, will be thrilled with that one.
Sam was going to throw. 9 play, 85 yards, capped off with Sinopoli's first CFL touchdown. Brandon Banks now. Cats looking to respond. With 7:50 to go. Had a big year last year, breakout year. Didn't find the house. But he has now. He has now.
Gone exactly as expected for the Calgary Stampeders, but we'll still call it 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks off the trickery last week. There's Jock Sanders on the flea flicker back to Bo Levi Mitchell. Threw this bomb to Anthony Parker for the touchdown against Toronto. Part of a 101-yard receiving day for Parker. They get back-to-back contributions from their young Canadian receivers here in Calgary.
Bo Levi Mitchell has been here for the last few seasons. Finally getting a chance to play and to start. Brad Sinopoli as Masoli takes the slide at the 33-yard line with Lynn J. Shell closing on him. Sinopoli learned a lot from a guy like Bo Levi Mitchell when he was attempting to become a quarterback. That's quite a chemistry those two have. Two guys about the same size, as a matter of fact.
Well, Sinopoli initially coming into the league when Henry Burris was here, and then also Kevin Glenn, Drew Tate. Some great guys to learn from, but it may well have been the emergence of Bo Levi Mitchell that forced his position change a couple years ago.
Exactly, made him start thinking about becoming a receiver as Bakari Grant moves the yardsticks at the 40-yard line. That's his first catch of the night. Bakari Grant.
Grant, the Tiger Cats' leading receiver last season. Finished up with 69 catches for 947 yards. Greg Ellingson was actually leading the league in receiving after 12 games, but then got injured and missed the rest of the regular season.
Grant now has 9 on the season. First and 10. And Brandon Banks on the inside, handoff and sweeping to the outside as the Ticats' biggest play offensively so far. A little bit of deception in the backfield for Hamilton.
Well, Banks is going to come in motion. Real quick handoff there, and you saw most of the Stampeders bit hard on that fake, thought the ball was going to C.J. Gable, and that Banks' motion was just that, just strictly motion.
It's an offside call. Charleston Hughes bit. Unless he was drawn, it looks like the Stamps jumped. You saw Banks, though. He's a former star from Kansas State and an all-USA track star.
Calgary, number 39. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
You saw him scoot on that 28-yarder, and Charleston Hughes penalized this time.
Well, Charleston Hughes always a threat coming off the edge for this Hamilton team that's played musical chairs with the offensive tackle positions. They've got to do whatever they can in terms of play calling or even something as simple as changing up the snap count to try and manage Charleston Hughes. This week it's Dominic Alford moving from right tackle to left. Jeremy Lewis makes his first career start at right tackle.
First and 5. Masoli pulls it back. And a hook slide up very close. It looks like it's going to be spotted before the first down marker. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and short here. They may now bring out Dan Lefevre in the short yardage situation. That's what they're going to do. Lefevre now the backup behind Masoli.
And I like seeing Masoli use his legs. They're a great weapon. This is a guy who rushed for over 1,900 yards in 3 seasons as a college starter. He rushed for 29 touchdowns in 3 years.
Lefevre, who almost led the Cats to victory a couple of weeks ago in Edmonton, came up short at the end. Otherwise, they very well could have been 1-1. Lefevre, in the minds of a lot of people, might have been the heir apparent when Zach Collaros went out with injury, but Ken Austin elected to go with Jeremiah Masoli.
Yeah, and Lefevre's the guy who played much more extensively last season as the Tiger Cats had a package for him where he would frequently spell Henry Burris, particularly in situations where they wanted to get the quarterback on the move and running with the football a little bit. But his training camp in the early season has gone on this year. Masoli has advanced on that depth chart.
Masoli picked off by Josh Bell. 11 on 11. And Bell rings one up. His second interception. And his first of 2014.
And Josh Bell, who moved with the injury to Buddy Jackson. Bell shifted from free safety to play this field corner spot. That's what has him lined up on Sam Giguère in position. make the pick.
Jeremiah Masoli turns it over.
I love you. I like him. St. Philip Saints, Dallas Skyline, Baylor University, baby. Keep working hard, baby. Keep working hard. Hard work pays off, baby. There you go.
Josh Bell with a shout out to former Lion. Guy who spent some time in the NFL.
#1 in the BCS right there, baby.